What's up, everybody? This is Fred Rachani. We have right here on the line a very special guest joining us from beautiful Norway. You may know him from The Last Kingdom. You may know him from Captain Marvel. We are talking to actor Rune Temte. How's everything going?
Thank you very much. Yeah, up in Norway now, it's dark outside. It's getting close to 9 o'clock in the evening. So I'm basically staying indoors. The snow is coming. Everything is cold. Winter is coming. No, everything was great. Just a joke.
Winter is indeed coming in the New York area and already in Norway. But another thing that's coming before we get to your decorated career is A Boy Called Christmas, the new Netflix film that is dropping, I believe, November 24th in the United States and throughout the world, November 26th. Can you talk a little bit about that upcoming film and your role in it?
Yeah, I mean, I play a character called Andreas. He's part of the big story, the big adventure. This is going to be a whole family Christmas movie. I think it's going to be an iconic movie, something that you guys going to watch every Christmas. And when you look at the cast, obviously, there's a lot of good things to look forward to, but mostly the story is original story from Matt Haig, a novel from the British author. So many of you would know this book, obviously, and a lot of children around the world, they love it. It's an original story about a fantasy about how Father Christmas came along. So, it can't be better than that just before Christmas, right?
Absolutely. And I personally love Christmas. I love Christmas movies. And I'm not an actor, but I would imagine as an actor, somebody who's already been a part of some big productions, it's kind of cool to be a part of a Christmas movie, right? You could technically become a part of somebody's tradition every year.
Exactly. No, I mean, 40 years, I'm not sure if I'll be here in 40 years, but fingers crossed. But, it's still going to be there. It's something that the children and the children's children is going to watch. So this is good. And I think this movie has, I'm sorry, I have to say, it has a great potential. I'm in it, so hopefully everything will go down well. But it has this fairy tale sense, and Gil Keenan, the director, I mean, he's an artist, and they have all the resources they need to make this into a huge, epic, fantastic movie for the whole family. So I think it's a great thing. And you say I'm up in Norway now, obviously all the way up in north. Getting closer to the North Pole, where the history goes, that's where Santa Claus lives, right? Or actually Finland. They also say he's from Finland, but it's all promo. It's all commercial. So up in the North Pole. Anyway, so Gil Keenan, the director, he traveled a lot in Lapland, up in the north of Norway, to find inspiration, and you can see this very clearly in the movie. So I could go on for half an hour with name dropping in this movie, but as you know, it's Maggie Smith, it's Sally Hawkins, it's Christian Wiig, Jim Broadbent. So it's all looks good, and I hope you will see it. It was a great adventure. I mean, Gil Keenan, he saw me in Eddie the Eagle, a movie I did with Christopher Walken and Taron Egerton, and the one and only Hugh Jackman. He saw me in that and said, basically, when I got this project, I knew you were going to be in it, and as an actor, a compliment. So joining this fantastic cast, we filmed out in Prague, in Barrandov Studios, iconic, also very historical studio out there in Prague. So it was a big event for me, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think the story is something that will bring joy and excitement and thrilling experiences to audiences around the world.
We were talking off the air. Speaking of Netflix, you were involved in the early part of the great hit series, The Last Kingdom, which is now making its way to its fifth and final season. But We also heard that there might be a little movie coming out in the near future as well. Before we get to the movie, can you just kind of describe your experience on The Last Kingdom and your thoughts on its success up to this point?
What can I say? It's in your career, there's a couple of times there's projects that comes your way, and there's characters that comes your way. That this is it. This is your character. This is everything coming together. And with The Last Kingdom, this was this kind of character, this kind of project. I play a, a Danish Viking. He looks kind of like me. He has a big tattoo here and.
The badass Ubba.
Exactly, and he's a little bit more rough than I am, obviously. But today I'm putting my smile on. But anyway, so Ubba is a great warrior, Danish Viking, and for me everything was coming together. I mean, basically, I come from Viking background. This is in my DNA. So I was very fortunate to be in that, and with the production Carnival. Obviously going, they were with BBC too, BBC in America in the beginning. So we had a big PR thing there in Los Angeles, and I think there were high expectations because the whole series is based around Bernard Cornwell's great novels, right? So, but starting off saying this one of these projects, I remember when I saw the first episode. Doing some ADR in London, and I just I saw the face of Tom Taylor, the actor who plays the young Uhtred, the lead. Uhtred is the lead, or the played beautifully by Alexander Raymond, and he's the character you follow through all 5 seasons. But Tom Taylor, the British actor, he plays Uhtred as a young boy, and I remember the opening scene, sitting there in the sound studio. I saw his face looking out towards this danger of the Vikings coming towards him, and I just started to cry. It was all in his eyes, and I had this feeling that with all this talent and all this effort that we put into this project, it was going to be huge. And now, as you say, and thank you for that it's been a huge success. And after Netflix took over, obviously it has grown into being, not as GOT, but still we are up there. And to be honest, and all the fans of Last Kingdom knows that this is something completely different from Game of Thrones, right?
Oh, totally. As a huge Last Kingdom fan, who's also a huge Game of Thrones fan, who's also a huge Vikings fan, all great shows, but
Yes.
very different. And it's interesting because it came out around the same time as those shows. And, on the surface, you'd look at it and be like, okay, this is just another, series trying to cash in on the trend. But no, it is its own series. And I love that you mentioned that the show made you emotional in the first episode. And I really feel that way whenever I watch any of these episodes, whenever I watch these seasons, from the scenery to the great acting to the sound design as well, the composition. I just recently interviewed the composer John Lunn.
Oh, really? Did you?
Ivor.
Oh,
yeah,
great
and he's a great guy, and he was talking about his work with Ivor and how they both collaborated. And I mean, sometimes for me when I'm working out or just need to meditate, I do listen to that soundtrack, and it just gets you in the zone. It really is just like an amazing experience. If you watch it, especially on a pretty big screen, do it. It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, and as you say, I remember we had I think I had friends over when we saw the first episode on television here, and you just hear the intro with his music and Eivor with her magic voice and the sounds. It's great. Obviously, I would say that because I'm in the show, but still, it's something unique. And when you see how the DOP, the how it's filmed, I think it's in 4 or maybe 5 of them. All of them is done. The DOP is called Chas Bain, and it's like you're in there with everything. You're in there in the shield wall. You're in there in the fight, and he could hold the camera for 14 minutes. So he was at the time. So he was always trying to be there with us, and this is. It's quite unique for us as actors as well, because the cameraman and the camera will move with us, so you can see also a lot of this is very organic, you know. Of course, a lot of it is pre-arranged and everything, but you can also see that we are enjoying being in that flow. And some of the scenes, I mean, in the shield wall and in the first episode is really remarkable because you can see the camera is actually there next to the actor or the character.
I have to ask you this as a Last Kingdom fan, and for all the Last Kingdom fans watching and listening, I don't know what the timeline is of the movie as far as like when it takes place in the story, but can you give us any hints on maybe if you're going to be involved or not?
Oh, you know, I wish I could. Actually, I'm quite close with both the producer and one of the executives, but I don't know really. I wish I would know. I mean, there's two options, right? Either they move on or they bring all of us back, right?
Yeah.
I know which one I want.
I think I know what fans would like too, especially watching this. That's
So
crazy.
yeah, because since we passed away or since we went to Valhalla, we all been preparing for the big fight there with Odin and Freya, eating, feasting, and training for the big fight. So maybe they should do a Ragnarok, the end of the world scenario, even though there's so many of them around around the globe now in different plots and movies, but still the Viking Ragnarok, I'm not sure if it has been done. Maybe in the first Thor, a Marvel movie, from Kenneth Branagh, he has a bit of Ragnarok there, but I think so. I'm well prepared. I've been Uber. He's been training and with Odin since he went to Valhalla.
Would you hear that, Uhtred and Carnival Films and Netflix? He's ready. He's ready.
I'm ready, Alexander. I'm ready to do that fight again if you want.
Now it's hard to believe it's been a couple of years now since Captain Marvel came out. Obviously, we've had this crazy pandemic. It feels like time is just a flat circle these days. You played the popular Bronchar in the film, super high grossing film. I believe the first actor from Norway to ever be a part of the MCU. And as we know, whenever you're involved with a huge production like The Last Kingdom or MCU or both, your life changes forever, usually for the better. So can you talk about how your life has changed for the better in the last couple of years since being in Captain Marvel?
I come from the theater. I've been an actor for 30 years now. So when I got Last Kingdom, I was, I'd done Hamlet, Oberon. I've been rolling around on the floor trying to pretend to be a fish in the ocean. I don't experience every kind of theater. You played for children, grown-ups, you'd been in the schools. I mean, you basically done everything in the book, right? Mm-hmm. And obviously building my career in Scandinavia and Norway. But then something like The Last Kingdom comes your way. Was a big break for me, international. Funny enough, you were mentioning the Game of Thrones, and everyone wanted to be in Game of Thrones. So I was there, of course, auditioning as we did then, and we still do even more now during the pandemic. We do our self-tapes, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was growing my beard. I was trying to be the big mean man, very hard for me, and trying to get into Game of Thrones. And I was so fed up. I did another Norwegian great actor. You should get him on the show. Christopher got that Giant's Bane role. I was obviously up for that as well. And when I didn't get that, I said, sod it. I cut my beard. It's all over. I'll go I'd never grow a beard again. And then, of course, the phone rings, and that's my agent. Hello, Rune. There's a casting for you. It's a show called The Last Kingdom. And it was like, no, I can't do a Viking without a beard. So actually my audition for Last Kingdom was without a beard. So that was a big game changer. And I think what happened was that Sarah Finn's iconic casting director, Sarah Finn, has done basically all the Marvel movies and some of the other great movies. Their office saw The Last Kingdom, and they saw this wild character Ubba, and then I started to do some. I got some mysterious emails from my agents saying, "Could you please audition for this?" And I said, "What? What is it?" It's we can't tell you. You have to sign the papers and don't call anyone and draw down the curtains and all that stuff. And So yeah, so I did a couple of those, and then I got one, and I was okay. I sent a self tape in, and then I got a phone call from my agent, and they said, "Yeah, there's someone in America they want to talk to you. You are up for a role for Marvel. There's a new movie coming out." And I thought, are they pulling my leg? Is basically the biggest film franchise in the world, right? So I said, okay, why not? So how many people are they seeing? And I said, no, it's just you. They're seeing you. So just be prepared. I think I spent more time setting up the Skype call with Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck than I actually did for the whole casting. So no, it's been very positive. Obviously now people know me around the globe as Bronchar and the Star Force. And Marvel is a big family, so we're part of this family. And it's been just from day one great. I was just welcomed in, and we had a great time shooting it in LA. And you get offers because you have been in this big context and showed that you could work on this level. So it's a lot of things that can be said about that, but I'm very pleased for all the enthusiastic fans around the globe that follows Marvel, obviously, and now they're mixing everything. So who knows what's going to happen?
And it's pretty cool. You've been around for a while, and to have a relationship with Marvel, with Disney, with Netflix. How important is that for an actor? Because not only do you get that great opportunity initially, but establishes a connection, a relationship where they want to use you down the road more often.
Yeah, how does this industry work? I mean, and how to get into the position, and you have you have movie stars, and you have working actors. I consider myself as a working actor. I mean, and that's still a hard job. You have to go out there. But one thing is for sure, you have to keep this relationship. It's like in every business. It's of course it's about what you know, but it's also about who you know, right?
Right.
So no, you have to travel. You have to keep it up. I mean, when you get the opportunity, you have to use it. And I'm really pleased to work with these people. And when the feedback is we are happy with your work, it's even better. There's no guarantee they're going to call you back, but it's like they know your face, they've seen your work, and they recognize your name. So that's part of the thing, I think. But I just have to keep working, and luckily, or you have to create. They say in back where you come from, it's like luck is when preparation meets opportunity, and I always have to be prepared. So it's been really great, and I'm been fortunate to work with these big companies, and when the projects are a success, of course, it's even better. I mean, I've been in big projects that for some reason or another, it hasn't got anything to do with me, but still you end up on the editing floor. It happened to all of us, big stars, all of us. So of course, Captain Marvel, what can I say? It's a huge success, and the Last Kingdom. So it's good, and I think A Boy Called Christmas will actually go all the way.
Excellent. And I love that pin that you're rocking. For the people watching, can you just show us that?
Sorry, what, this one?
Yeah, the pin right here. Oh, yeah. I love scrolls. I love it.
As being a Kree warrior, we love the scrolls.
I love the MCU tie-in. Much appreciated.
we love a good fight,
Yeah.
So,
Not only do you love a good fight, love a good movie, a good series, you also love a good soccer match, because based on my research on the Google machine, I learned that you played professional soccer for years, my friend. I mean, wow. So how did you go from professional soccer, being a badass on the field, to acting for all these years, to really breaking in and blowing up like you are now?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's soccer is a big thing in Europe, right? As you know. So no, this was my former career. So what can I say? It's a big, it's a big move. But in America, you have big sports stars, big stars in the athletic world. They move on to be movie stars. In up where I come from, it's not so common. But I did, I played professional soccer, football as we call it, not like the football as you have, but we call it soccer. It's picking up in New York and of course in with Beckham. I think he's in, I don't know where he is now, in Miami or maybe he's in LA. He was in LA. Yeah. So anyway, it's a big thing here, and I enjoyed it, and I was a rough tackler. That's a surprise, isn't it? So, but I had a lot of fun, and I think some of the stamina that I have and you need in this industry, because there's very few of us that's picked up by Marvel or Carnival. I mean, after a week, I mean, there's always stories of the lucky draw, right? But we have to have a stamina, we have to have a drive, and we have to be able to go in with full force after a tackle and 99 rejections, right? So I think this also comes a lot from my background as a sportsman, as a soccer player.
But when did you realize, like, okay, I want to be an actor? Was that something that you thought of prior to even getting to sports, or did it kind of fall in your lap after you retired?
No, actually, there was a big scandal here because I retired before I could have gone on for at least another 10 years. But then, I was tempted, or what can I say? I wanted to tell stories. I mean, maybe because I thought I was so funny in the changing rooms. I thought I could do the same in front of the camera or on stage. I don't know. I was stupid enough to believe that, because it's a long journey, right? To be funny among friends and to go and present it in front of a camera or from a stage. It's a different thing, as we know. But I think that was a sparkle, and I come from a family with storytellers. I mean, my dad and his generation, that's what they did. They told stories, and they made jokes, and they remembered from the old days, and going even further back, when we go back to Nordic mythology, and then also going into the Viking era. That's how it was passed on. The stories and the laws and how to behave, all that was word of mouth. That was a storyteller. So I think it's something that's very close to my heart. And then, so I wanted really to tell stories. And then, of course, change the world. Have people going, Eureka! I didn't know about that. Oh my God! Seeing this movie, seeing this stage play. Oh, really? Is it like that? Of course, when you're 20, 25, that's what you want to do, right? And I'm still here, and I still want to do that. And now, it's very rewarding. And so, my father was very upset. Rest in peace. He passed away 2 years ago. But he was a great inspiration. I remember when I came home and I told him, I'm going to quit football, soccer. And he was like, I couldn't believe it. Such a lovely man, such an empathic, caring person, and always supported me. And he just, for 2 months, he didn't say anything. He was just in shock. And of course, after 2 months, he was like all in, all supportive, and, but he couldn't believe it. How is it possible? You have everything in the world you want. You're straight there. So why go into this business, the risky business of being an actor, unemployed? How are you going to survive? How are you going to provide for your family? Will you ever get your own house? So he was very happy when he came to the opening of Eddie the Eagle, and I was picked up with a limousine here in my neighborhood. And, I had a driver to honk the horn as he drove in 7:00 in the morning. So all the neighbors, of course, saw the limo coming and picking me up. He loved it. He loved it a lot. So no, it's been a long journey, but not looking back, I think actually over the years I tried to accept that I've been a sportsman, and the more I accepted it, instead of trying to distance myself from it, because artist and an athlete in people's mind it's something different, even though we have people that can actually do artistic work with their sports, right? But as I accept it more, it's been more fun also. And when you see the characters I do, I mean, I love preparing for Captain Marvel, being in the gym times a week to bulk up, as the email read when I first got the part.
That's amazing, and I love that you really appreciate the nuance of acting. And of course, they call soccer, football the beautiful game. Not just because it's a great game to watch, but because of the nuance and everything. And some people that may not watch soccer may think, "Oh man, some of these games are 1-0, 2-0. That's kind of boring." But when you actually go there live, I mean, it's a beautiful experience. I remember one time I went to MLS game. I took my dad to it. It was a tie. It ended in 0-0. It was like a draw, but it was a great game, and it was great defense. It was just so much nuance. So does your experience in soccer, football kind of help you appreciate the nuances of acting and everything? Are they kind of similar in that way, that the little things make the big things?
Yeah, I think so. And this is it's also about this community of people coming together to go through towards a common goal. I mean, that's a big thing in my life. I think we are stronger together. And this is maybe strange to say this, but it's true. I mean, you have to give up something from your ego to actually get to your goal, and this is quite strange because I mean, in both football, soccer, and the movie industry, I mean, we are big individuals with big egos, but I think you see when we give it up for a, or should I say, a higher purpose or a common goal, winning the game or making this story come alive, it brings something. And that's partly asking me why I went into acting and why I quit the great football career. No, but yeah, it's not like I was playing in Arsenal or my favorite team, Leeds United, but in Norway it was on the highest level, right? So this is what we want to contribute, and yeah, it's one of the reasons I actually went into acting, that we are doing something together, and as a teamwork. And I've been lucky. I've been fortunate enough to be in great teams. Yeah.
Are you ready for some random rapid fire questions?
Let's do it.
All right. What's your favorite late night snack or cheat meal?
Oh, that's crisps. That's crisps, just plain crisps with salt.
Most awkward moment as an actor?
Oh, that's most awkward. Yeah, starting to nose bleeding on stage, and it didn't stop, and I couldn't leave the stage.
Oh man!
So it just kept pouring, and I was going, yeah. It was, and I had no chance to leave the stage. It was awkward, and it was really strange. Yeah.
Was it a scene that required blood, or no? Was it just kind of random? You're like just playing a random
Do
role.
you remember a movie called, what was it called? Was it called Birdie? Was it with John Hurt? They're in a cell, just the two of them. One of them has been a ex-Marine in Vietnam. Anyway, so this is the story. We did it on stage, and so basically I was telling a story of how I got injured and got my private parts blown away. So I'm not saying that I shouldn't be nose bleeding, but it was terrible. And the shirt, it all got red, and yeah, it's quite. It's like a nightmare. When we talk about movies now, another nightmare, of course, is what happened just recently. I mean, that's also a nightmare. This is the kind of things that we wake up at night, and we don't want to hurt anyone on set. We don't want to hurt anyone around us. So this is also, and if something happens to you and you can't really do anything about it, it's terrible also. So it's, But of course, all the things when you say things wrong on stage, and all the audience, especially children, they know the lines, and you say something else, and they go just, whoa, what? And they just look at their parents and what? And what is this actor going on about? This is not our story. We want to go home. That's also very embarrassing. That happened a couple of times.
What's your workout regimen like?
Oh, yeah, we go to the gym obviously, but I do this in the morning. I also always do something called Tibetans. It's 5 different postures. It's called some people call it. It's kind of the life, the water of life, or the sense of life, of youth. So there's different postures. I mean, call it yoga, whatever, but it's a special system. So we do that in the morning. It depends also. First, I need coffee, espresso, and then we go into the routine. And obviously, if I'm not filming, we do a session in the gym. When we're doing a boy called Eddie the Eagle, I have a scene there in a sauna, and this was from the 80s, so I had to lose a lot of weight. So then my routine was to get up, just I call it a Hugh Jackman walk, and then just walk for 15-20 minutes without anything, and that's just to burn fat. And then you maybe go and have some breakfast, and then you do some stretching, and you do the workout. But I always try to do something every day. That's, for me, 2-3 days without doing anything is terrible. So, yeah. In that, trying to lose weight for the sauna scene, it's quite funny because Dexter Fletcher, which you obviously know by now, iconic actor, great guy from another great movie, and introducing a villain ex-footballer actually in Lock, Stock and Two Barrels. Yeah. Vinnie Jones.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
By the way, that's one of my all-time favorite films. I just recently watched that again.
You did, yeah?
Good, so good.
So Vinnie Jones, when we're saying, any ex-soccer players that turned acting, yeah, Vinnie Jones did. Anyway, so he was in that. Dexter Fletcher was in that, and Jason Fleming, who did a great job in The Last Kingdom. They were all in Lock, Stock and Two Barrels. My point being, Dexter was directing Eddie the Eagle, and then of course afterwards he's done the Elton John movie, he's done Bohemian Rhapsody. So he's moving up in the world, a great guy, and he was always joking because he's a Cockney, and he was going, "Oh, Rune, you're going to be naked in the sauna, right? You're going to lose some weight, mate. You can't look like that, mate. You're going to lose some weight." So he was always teasing me. So I was really going for it because in the 80s we looked different, different bodies. And in the 70s even more different. But 70s and 80s, it's just that's different kind of life. I don't know what it was, but we looked different. So in the evening, the last thing I would do was to eat fish, cod. So fried cod in the evening, just before I went to bed. You can imagine the kitchen, everything, and that's what, because then the burning of the fat would increase during the night. So yeah. My wife, she's still here. She didn't leave me. Oh, poor thing. Anyway,
God bless her.
So God bless her. So no, it's quite funny. All these things you have to do with preparation, and I try to do a little bit every day.
But your body's feeling okay?
The body is good now. Good. We're back into training with my good friend Christian Arnason, from Icelandic coach. So yeah, he thinks. I don't know. He's never happy with me, but I do my best.
What's the best piece of advice you give anybody for success?
Don't be late.
Wow. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? And I will confirm too that you are not late for this interview. In fact, you were 1 minute early.
Oh, thank you very much. No, it's funny you should ask that, because I did a masterclass in acting and self-taping. For those of you who don't know what a self-tape is, it's like an audition you film yourself and you send it in. So I did that for young actors this weekend, and we went through all the good advices how to succeed. But don't be late is one thing, obviously. I mean, if you're filming or whatever, you know this, stealing other people's time, and they will. And another thing is, of course, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Is also a thing. But as we mentioned earlier, you need the drive. You need a purpose. You need to have stamina. So and the luck, yeah, you can rely on the luck, obviously, but as we said also earlier, that means preparation. And if you prepare, if you do the groundwork, and that's many hours of groundwork in any field of business you do, eventually the timing will be right. And then afterwards people say, that was luck, but you were prepared. So I think that's and of course, when we get into being yourself, trying to be true to yourself, and trying to come with as much as you are as possible in every situation, I think it's a good thing. I mean, of course, you have to navigate in different situations, and this is called social intelligence. But you are still yourself as the most you can, and the most we know. I mean, this is an ongoing journey, right, to find ourselves. But I think people that like Roosevelt said, keep your feet on the ground and reach for the stars. So you have grounded people, and you see them as real people, as we say in Norway, hel ved. And ved is being the lumber you put in the oven. So this is solid. This is try to come across as someone they can trust, and they can see you as a whole person. So try to be yourself. I think that's, and yeah, I think that's that's always been my aim, to try as much as possible in every situation. And of course, you have to work hard. You have to get up in the morning, as I tell my son, and do the groundwork. So that's also very important. What's your recipe for success, my friend?
Oh, you're asking me this now. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Come on. Man. You know what? I would say, I mean, I feel like I'm still on that path, but I would probably say, work hard and treat people with respect. Learn to work smarter as well. If you hit a wall, you don't just keep running into the wall. Think of different ways. Think outside the box. Think of different ways. Try different things. Don't be afraid to change paths. Be careful of the people you surround yourself with. You want to surround yourself with positive people, not just like-minded people, but people that can bring you up. You never want to necessarily be, the smartest guy in the room. You do want to have a go-to person, whether it be a significant other or best friend, or both, preferably. And yeah, I would say, like, just very general advice. Work hard, treat people with respect, recognize your talent, hone your craft. Like for me, I started broadcasting at a very young age, and it was one of those things where I didn't have there's no manual here. Like I went to journalism school and it was okay, but there wasn't a whole manual. They don't teach you about how to read a dynamic personality, anything like that. It wasn't until I got to New York, worked under people. One of my mentors said, "Fred, you got to take a speech and diction class." I'm like, "What is that?" He's like, "Pay for a class and take it." And at the time, I'm like, pay for another class? I just graduated. I should be good, right? But no, he told me, go to the store, get a copy of, of course, Backstage magazine. Go to Backstage, go to the back page of Backstage, and find whoever, give them a call, and do these classes. And every week, and I wasn't making a lot of money at the time as a production assistant. Every week, I would just be doing these speech and diction classes, doing all the exercises, doing everything else. And on top of that, of course, making videos. On top of that, working my quote unquote real job. And eventually, I got a lot better. We've been on TV now for about 5 years, close to 5 years on Manhattan Neighborhood Network. Shout out to them. So I would say, yeah, just don't be afraid to pivot, work hard, but also work smart, and treat people with respect, be a good person. I know it's hard these days to be empathetic because you really feel what's going on, but I feel like in the long run, that's good. And also don't be afraid to give back as well. Obviously be careful who you surround yourself with, but my grandma always told me, like, if you give to the world will give back to you. Not that you should expect anything, but it's just kind of like the way the law works.
Wow. Are you going to print that in a book and it's going to be published?
You know what? Maybe in like 15, 20 years, that you write the foreword for it, and
Sure, sure.
we'll refer to this interview as a catalyst for it.
No, but it's great. And what you're saying also, when you get to one level, I mean, it's also a chance that, I mean, they say that successful people, they find solutions, and losers, they make excuses. So it's also one stage you have to say, oh, is this right? But you did your classes, you did your work. That's also something we have to do. I mean, so no, good advices. They're great. So
thank you, and also too, I think I should mention. I don't know if you agree with this or not. I've been told a few times, don't ever let somebody define what a success is to you.
yeah, and I mean, this is more true than ever, right? So, and this has to do with integrity, of course, and our integrity is it's everything, really. You have to keep that. So, of course, and then, yeah, it's different levels, and I think also it's easy to say say this to an actor, but to get to the level of success, whatever that is, defined by whoever, don't take it so personally. Personal. See it as a game.
I like that. And also, you can only control what you can control, right? You can do a great job in a movie. Hopefully that movie's a success. But once it's out the door, once it's in theaters or on streaming, it's out of your hands.
I was working with this Russian director. This is like coming from a different world, different place in art history, everything. Is basically, you're an actor, you shut up, I'm the boss, I'll tell you what to do. But yeah, he got results. But anyway, he was talking about these three circles, like your circle is the inner circle, then you have the next circle, that's the audience, and the third circle out there is all the mess out there, We used to call it the papers, but it's different now. Anyway, so all you could take care of is this inner circle. And I worked with him like 15 years ago, and I still use this. I mean, when I'm there at Sony Studios, walking in there, being prepared for 2.5 hours, painted blue, I'm there walking over to the set, passing 250 people, getting in front of the camera, and there is bam, 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 bam. Everyone's looking at you. Oh, what about the cash they invested? What about all the blue pipe paint? What can you do? Audience going to... No, I'm there. I'm there in front of this camera. I have this text. I have this story. I have these brilliant actors around me. That's all I can control. That's it. And I think that was a great advice, actually. And that's all we can do.
Awesome. Well, Rune, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, getting to know you, learning about your journey. Before we let you go, where can fans find you online, and where can they find you next on screen?
Yeah, I mean, Boy Called Christmas is coming out very soon. Netflix all over the world, in UK, New Zealand, maybe Australia. I think they can see it even in theaters. And there's also a great movie coming out in America, hopefully early next year. It's called Wild Man. And this is a great movie. It's a Danish comedy. And I have to say, I can't wait for you guys to see it. So that's another project. And obviously, you can see me on Netflix in The Last Kingdom. And there's also an American movie coming out in January. And it's called Arctic Void. So look out for that. And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter. And I'm all yours. Thank you.